Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. So first of all, I apologize for not posting the trailer breakdown stuff for episode 20 and all that last night. I just ran out of time because of the stupid squirrel thing. Like literally that threw me off. I took a few hours off and then I had to do that trailer breakdown last night. And yeah, anyways, I have a bunch of videos coming out today, about 3 or 4, so stay tuned for all of that. I've actually been super freaked out. I know a lot of people are making fun of me because of the squirrel thing, but I've actually been really freaked out about it. Like, I'm not scared of squirrels. I swear to God, I'm not. But like, it's different when you're walking around the house in pajamas and you think a squirrel is just gonna like run up your leg or something. Even now, sitting on the desk here, I'm like looking under, like, is there a squirrel there? Is there one behind me? Is it like behind my amps over there? We got it out. We got the squirrel out, but I'm also wondering how the hell did it get in here? I think it was from the chimney, but yeah, I don't know. That's ridiculous. Anyways, I want to start off this video actually, first of all, in congratulating Steven Yeun for being nominated for an Oscar. That's pretty amazing. I don't remember any other Walking Dead cast member being nominated for an Oscar, so that is very massive. Maybe Lenny James, maybe Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I don't think Andrew Lincoln has, just because he's been on the Walking Dead for a long time and he hasn't really done anything else besides that. Steven Yeun, he's been out there working hard. Like, he's been out there constantly doing stuff. I've been paying attention slightly. I don't really watch a lot of movies and stuff. Like, I go through phases where I'll watch, like, I watch a lot of horror movies and stuff, but in terms of other dramatic movies, I don't really get into that too much, but I have been keeping an eye on him and what he's been doing, and it's been pretty amazing. The roles he chooses are definitely, his performances in them as well. It's fantastic. And hearing this news today was like, wow, finally, that's awesome. Definitely really proud of him and his career and everything that he's done since leaving The Walking Dead. It's been absolutely amazing. I would say he's probably, could I say that? Yeah, I think I would say that he's probably the most successful outside of The Walking Dead, right? For people who have left. Yeah, I know Norman Reedus and Andrew Lincoln, they're like still, popular and whatever, but they're also still kind of in The Walking Dead, right? Like Norman Reedus is going to have a spinoff. Andrew Lincoln still is going to be in the movies and maybe the final season of the show. Steven Yeun was killed off the show, right? Like Glenn was killed off the show, what, 3, 4, 5 years ago already? And he's, yeah, anyways, I just wanted to congratulate him on that because that was just absolutely, hearing that news was just, that's awesome. So before we go any further, if you are new here, make sure to be a subscriber if you do want any more Walking Dead content like this. This week's episode is going to be a Commonwealth episode, and I want to talk about how much of the Commonwealth we're going to get in this episode and how much of Princess and her backstory we're going to get, because I'm wondering if they're going to do a twist on it where we see more of Princess's backstory than like introduction to the Commonwealth. That's what I'm a little curious about. But yeah, that'll be the focus for this week, which also that will be a big focus for the Q&A. You can still ask me questions about episode 19, obviously, because that was a pretty scary episode, but I'll make a Q&A post later today or tomorrow, and that Q&A will be coming out on Wednesday. So yeah, stay tuned for that. So Princess, like I said in the trailer, is like front and center, and she's basically been front and center in all the footage we've seen. We're going through this next part with the Commonwealth through Princess's eyes, and I don't really know how I feel about that, just because I would have preferred to have really explored them through like Ezekiel or Eugene, right? Characters that we're very, very well connected with. Like Princess, I do like Princess. A lot of us were worried last year, a year ago already. I can't believe that was a year ago. We were all so worried about Princess's introduction because of just how insane she is, right? And like, she was probably the most annoying character in the comic. No one liked her. Well, some people did, but not a lot of people liked her. But the show is just completely different. The actress, Paula Lazaro, I apologize if I butchered that name, but she is awesome as Princess. She definitely sells the character. I think that's what Robert Kirkman wanted to do with the character, was exactly how she's portraying the character, which works really well in the show. I just don't know if it's the right choice to follow her in this episode, right? Like if we got Ezekiel, I think that would have been really awesome, Ezekiel or Eugene. Especially Eugene. I mean, he's been there since season 4, and I feel like we don't really know a lot about what he's going through right now. And this was kind of his journey anyways, because of Stephanie. I think it would have been smarter to focus on him a little bit more, but I guess what they want to do here is really focus on Princess and give more, I guess, backstory to her personality and stuff like that. There's other scenes that kind of hint at things with her. We'll talk about that in a different video, but I can see what they're doing here. We do have our first look here at Lance Hornsby. I believe it's Lance Hornsby. They haven't confirmed it yet, but I'm pretty sure that is who that is. Like in the comic, that's exactly what happens here. I don't remember who's sitting in front of him, if it's Yumiko, Eugene, or Michonne, or Magna, but it's one of those 4 anyways sitting here. It could be all of them, and they're talking to Lance Hornsby. He's interviewing them and seeing, who are they, where are they from, this and that, and Lance Hornsby in general is a pretty decent person. Like, he's a good person. He's not a villain, really, Like, the Commonwealth aren't villains entirely. They are in the sense of their beliefs, but not completely. It is more just like political, right? Like, regardless of whatever political party you are, if you're like, if you're in one camp, you're going to think of the other camp as being like, not necessarily villains, but you're kind of, it's a different belief. And I would say the Commonwealth, they just have a different belief like that. And sometimes it can affect lives in really negative ways. So that's really the extent of it, right? It's just kind of politics for the last part, which makes sense in the story of The Walking Dead because the Commonwealth is a return to normal, a return to how to live. And if there's people in control, trying to control how you live in a world where that doesn't really need to be an option. And I know a lot of people criticize the direction Kirkman took that part of the story with the Commonwealth, but I think it actually makes the most sense if you're going full circle. It's going to get to that part eventually. Like in the beginning, it was technically political with the state of the world, before the apocalypse, but everything fell apart. So you saw all of that completely crumble, right? And now we're starting to see it rise back up again, and that's where we're at with the Commonwealth. I think it makes a lot of sense. And so, again, the Commonwealth, they're not really villains in that sense, but they kind of are. But Lance Hornsby here, he seems so villainous, and I don't know exactly what happened here. I don't think Princess was trying to like hit Lance Hornsby or attack him or something like that made him hit her, but he just seems so villainous. Like, what the hell, right? Like, he's not really like that in the comic. He doesn't do things like that. And so the first thing you're seeing of this character is he just hits Princess to the ground. And it's like, okay, so first of all, you're like that. You do shit like that. And now I don't really know what to think of the Commonwealth because it's supposed to be this like peaceful place when you first see it. Like when you first see the Commonwealth, you're like, wow, I can't believe it. Like when you look at the final season teasers, you see like that cake and you see the ice cream and stuff. There's that, like, basically it's a bakery shop. Things are still normal and peaceful until you get into the inner workings of the Commonwealth. But you have stuff like this going on, and Lance Hornsby again isn't really that bad of a person. Not really in the comic at all, but on the show here, they just outright made him a villain basically by doing that, because how are you going to unsee that, right? If he was nice afterwards, everyone's going to be like, oh yeah, but I remember when you hit Princess, you smacked her and she fell on the ground. Like, yeah, I don't know. I guess they're going in a different direction with the character. I guess there's going to be certain people within the Commonwealth that are going to seem more villainous, like Pamela Milton and Sebastian Milton, Lance Hornsby. I think there was someone else. I can't remember what his name was. I'm pretty sure he was like this bald guy, but they're all probably going to seem very evil, I think. At least when compared to the comic, right? Because in the comic, they were portrayed that way, but they weren't the Whisperers or Negan, for sure. Like, I never felt that threatened by them. But if Lance Hornsby's doing this, if he has that much power, they're kind of going in that direction with it. So yeah, I guess he won't be someone that people like too much. Like, I'm thinking of that scene in the comic where they first arrive at the Commonwealth, and Lance Hornsby just seems so like nice. Like, here is this amazing place. It's like Disneyland, basically. Like, there's this unveiling of the Commonwealth, and it just looks so amazing, right? Is he going to do that here? And like, how are certain characters going to feel about that? I think that's where you could get into certain things, right? Like Ezekiel and say like Eugene, they might not care too much about Lance Hornsby. They might not, hate him as much. Princess, I think, is just going to be the entire time she's not going to like them. And I think that's where they can actually set up some stuff between Princess and Mercer. Like, Princess just doesn't trust Lance Hornsby or the Commonwealth, any of them, because obviously of what she's just went through. And Mercer doesn't already. Like, in the comic, he doesn't, because he's sick and tired of being treated like shit from Pamela Milton, the governor's son, Sebastian. And so I can see a connection there, and I can see something forming there, because in the comic, they do become a couple, Princess and Mercer. So maybe that's what they're hinting at here. Like, that's how it's going to start, which would be kind of cool. But I'm definitely expecting more nods to the Commonwealth in the final season very, very soon. Like, they released that teaser after episode 18, and they just released another one after episode 19. So I'm kind of expecting these little teasers after episode like 20, after episode 21. And then I think for episode 22, they could actually put some footage together, because it is the Here's Negan episode. The Walking Dead is going to be over for a few months. The show's actually returning in the summer instead of the fall, so that's a good sign, right? I think they could put something together for the final season. They've been filming for a while. I think they're on like episode 3 or 4, because they were working on episodes 1 and 2 about almost a month ago, 3 weeks ago, I would say. They are likely done filming that. They are probably working on episode 3 or 4. by the time Here's Negan airs, they should be done the first 4 episodes, which is, I would say, enough time, or you could get enough footage to put some kind of teaser together for the final season. I think you definitely can, because that's the exciting thing about the final season. We're actually going along with the Commonwealth arc, right? And I think that's why a lot of people are excited about episode 20, is because it's an introduction into that arc, and we're gonna get the vibe from that group, right? Lance Hornsby is just a part of that. I do wonder if we're gonna meet any more characters, if there's going to be any nods to Pamela Milton, the governor. I can't wait to hear what he's going to say through dialogue and certain things, and just where the episode ends. Where does it end? Is it focusing on Princess's point of view a lot, where in the end they just kind of leave and there's just like a resolution in terms of the princess's mindset or something she was dealing with? Or is it more a part of just the general story and it ends with them leaving and we see the Commonwealth or something like that? Like, I'm really curious on that. But I'll leave it here. Post all your thoughts down below. Let me know what you guys thought about this trailer. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.